Welcome to my foodscape. My name is Brie Arthur, and I am a horticulturalist and author and just general plant nerd and cat enthusiast. And I'm thrilled to welcome you to my home garden here in Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, which is just a suburb of Raleigh in Zone 7. To give you an overview of this annual bed that greets visitors. This is sort of the foundation landscape, and it's a very untraditional bed compared to what normal people would have with hedges, and instead I've gone with a brilliant ornamental palette of annuals that are mixed in seamlessly with food crops. And that is the whole goal of the foodscape concept, is to grow food intermingled with your ornamentals so that no one even knows that you're sneaking in a tomato or a pepper or an eggplant or a sweet potato or whatever it is that your heart desires. I love when my neighbors walk up and they say, "Oh my gosh, that's a jalapeno," or "Oh, you've got okra ready to be harvested." That would ordinarily not be right here on your foundation landscape planting. I love to grow plants that are kind of surprising, and that includes papyrus. This is the plant that, of course, was first what paper was made from. And it's actually growing in a very small pond liner. And it's just one of those things that when people walk to the door, they always ask, "What is that pom-pom plant?" Because it's such a cool foliage element. I love container gardening, and I have containers congregated in areas so that they're easy to water. And that's always my biggest tip to other gardeners is, container gardening is fun as long as you have easy access to a hose. And look, there's a hose. And I also wanted to show you this wall of Coleus. This is a product called livewall.com, and you can buy these online. And this is actually the live screen. It comes on casters, and it's just, I think it's the coolest thing that I grow in, to be honest. These were planted in April, and they've been growing all summer. It self-irrigates, and I can move it. Anywhere that is on a hard surface, you see the wheels, and it has a handle, and you can just move it around. So I'll get this replanted for the winter season, and I'll grow different cool season vegetables in it. One of my signature foodscape plants is rice, and this is a variety called Black Madras. I got it from parkseed.com, and this was direct seeded in a pot with no holes. I got that container from Lowe's, and it's been growing all summer. I seeded this, on the 17th of June, and it's grown all summer, and I water it as needed. And now it's in the stage where it's setting its seed, and yes, this is rice seed. This is seed that you can eat. Now, I don't really grow rice for the purpose of me eating it, but I really enjoy the process of watching it grow and having this super unusual thing in my garden to be able to educate people about. Salvia LEUCANTHA is such a great plant, and especially when it's mixed in with different varieties of CALLICARPA, the beauty berry. You can see this amazingly heavy berried form. And then next to it here is actually a variety or a species called acuminata. This is from Mexico, and it has the darkest berries of any of the CALLICARPA that I grow. Down the line here, we have CALLICARPA americana, Welch's pink. And this is really unique because it has these soft pink berries. And then another interesting variety is Americana alba. And obviously that's because it's got white berries on it. I've been anxious to clear this border, but I wanted to shoot this video and share with you this really interesting seed pot. Most people won't be able to identify it. All day long I've been watching the birds steal seeds. This is sesame. That's right. The seeds that you have on hamburger buns, they come from this plant right here. Right in these pods. That is where sesame seeds come from. These are black seeds. This is the pink flowering black seeded sesame plant, and they do extremely well here through the summer as an annual. Here in the back of the foodscape, we've got all kinds of fun things happening, including the Seminole pumpkin, which is growing absolutely everywhere. There's Miss Ava Grace. I wanted to show you one of my favorite combos for the season is this CUPHEA and the Alabama Sunset Coleus together. And then I'll show you some of the pumpkins that are developing. This is just growing right through a blueberry bush. It's basically no bounds for this pumpkin at all. It was given to me by the Florida Master Gardeners, and it's great because it's disease and insect resistant, which are two huge issues that we have here in the South. And it's got these cute green kind of spotty pumpkins that have formed, and they're edible. Apparently they taste like super sweet spaghetti squash. I'm sorry, super sweet butternut squash. So I'm gonna be eating those soon. Here we are in the fire pit, and you can tell I love coleus, and these are in large containers. They've been growing all summer, and they're mixed foodscape containers. So you can see here, you know, there's the coleus, and then this is a great type of basil. This is emerald everleaf, and it's like a downy mildew resistant variety. And then in that same pot, here are some peppers that are growing. And it's just such an easy way to kind of combine, you know, food and ornamentals together this way. And same thing goes, there's tomatoes still growing, and of course, a giant wall of figs, which don't often yield me much, but I'm hopeful every year. Hope springs eternal when it comes to gardening, right? Miss Ava, hi. One of my favorite foodscape combinations is just two perennial berries. And that would be blueberries with a ground cover of strawberries at the base. And you can see where I have just maximized the square footage by planting the two together, and I'm able to get double the harvest. For those of you who like to contain your veggies, I've been doing a lot of experiments growing vegetables in these giant 100-gallon root pouches, and I love them. This is my new favorite way to grow. These are actually made from recycled water bottles, and they are just filled with compost. And this is my now second season growing in these, and the productivity is fantastic. Look at all those peppers just waiting to be harvested. I have more root pouches over here. And you can see I've not kept up with the BT because we've been getting tons of rain, and the cabbage worms have really been able to eat their fullest. This is all broccoli with some cabbage back here. And now that the rain is finally cleared, I need to come back out and hit everything with BT again. So the backyard actually faces west. And it's so nice to see this bright blue sky because we've had rain for the last 5 days. And I'm just gonna do a quick walk around to the north side of the house, which is the shadiest area. And it's where I've really congregated a lot of my kind of collector plants, especially broadleaf evergreens, things like camellias and different palms. Here we are living in a pretty warm zone 7, sometimes zone 8, depending on the year. So it does offer a lot of opportunities to grow different diversity in the landscape choice. And the goal here is to have a living ground cover so that I don't ever have to mulch. And I think it's been done pretty successfully with this Tricertus, the toad lily right here. And then various carexes and different sedums and ferns, ajuga, monarda. Overall, this is a really You know, a kind of fun border that offers blooms at different times of the season, but especially through the winter. One of my favorite aspects of living in North Carolina is being able to grow kind of subtropical plants. And this is HEDYCHIUM. These just finished blooming and they smell heavenly. And they're just a great perennial. And they like this shade that they get from this large live oak, which is wonderful in that it holds its foliage all winter. And out front, you see those bright pink flowers. That is Lespedeza leucanthus, little volcano. This is a great hardy, almost shrub. I use it as a cutback perennial. I cut the stalks back, usually in March, and then it reflushes, and it blooms every October. And I have 3 large plants in this shrub border that just fill in all the gaps. And the pollinators, especially these large bumblebees, really, really adore it. I hope you've enjoyed today's Foodscape tour. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your event. I'll be available to answer all of your pressing garden questions next. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep gardening.